The last few years, the crops have been dying. World without corn, this and that, and this and that, and this and that, because it died. However, this guy successfully proved that I'm wrong about it. Hmm. Hmm. Looks like dead fucking corn, like I've been showing you. I think I just proved you wrongly. Now, after several months of this motherfucker talking like it's normal for the northern hemisphere to have a clockwise rotation, because I have been showing you the oceans are hitting up on the west coasts nice and heavy, and we're tapping brakes and everything, and you can see the waves coming into the west coasts of the world. This guy wants to say the counterclockwise in the north. It is normally counterclockwisely, but it's not blowing counterclockwise this year, is it? God, I just proved you wrong again. So this is a core conversation, and they're talking about it's rolled 180 degrees in a few hours. Uh, it's not supposed to rotate. The picture with airs. Never noticed this before, but it seems obvious that the Earth's axis tilt. Yeah, it's rolling 180 degrees at night, and it shouldn't. That's a North Hemisphere view. That's a South Hemisphere specific view. You should never see what the South Hemisphere view is looking at on the North Hemisphere. It should rise wax and set wax. This is a wax and wane. It's a 180-degree roll. It looks that way because our axis shifted. Simple as that. The man in the moon shouldn't flip. And they talk about the tilt of the moon has changed because Earth's axis shifted. Now for stupid motherfuckers, Launchpad Astronomy is going to show you what the moon should look like at rise and then set. And it sure as fuck never did a cartwheel until the Earth's axis shifted.
Imagine ourselves looking at the moon.
Brand new trick.
I'm in a stellarium, and I've zoomed out to a very wide field of view, which is way beyond what the human eye normally sees. The moon and the sun are going to be very tiny in the sky, so I correct for that by enlarging the moon by about 10 times. Now let's take a look at our inset. So this is a overhead view. We're kind of looking at this slightly in perspective. Our hometown of Baltimore is right there, and that means that north is toward the top of the globe, south is toward the bottom, east and west to the right and left accordingly. So because the Earth is rotating on its axis, that means that the sunlight is coming in from the direction indicated, and that means that given our location, we're kind of rotating from the night side of the Earth into the daylight. We are therefore experiencing dawn. And so the sun is exactly where we expect it to be. It's on the eastern horizon, it's just rising. And because the moon is between the Earth and the sun, the moon is presently at the new phase. So we have our vernal equinox. We know that the Earth is going to continue in its orbit as the moon revolves around the Earth. And we're seeing the moon in the new phase. By the way, I've just gone ahead and just added that dotted line just to help us see the moon. Let's go ahead and get the movie started. And
wonder if it's going to flip a cartwheel.
So we notice that the Earth is rotating. It's carrying us from the daylit side to the nighttime, and we come back to a new day. Because the moon has traveled a little bit in its orbit, the moon is now somewhat east of the sun. And you can just see it setting just after sunset, and we are now in the waxing crescent phase. So we're going to let some more time go by.
No 180-degree roll.
Waxing crescent. And as we get closer to first quarter,
about 20 degrees maybe.
And later. So much so that by the time the first quarter phase actually arrives, the sun will be on the meridian.
Take notice that this thing is only moving about 6.24 degrees in its orbit, as we spin and look at it.
In just as the first quarter moon is rising. Let's take a look. So there's the sun on the meridian, and the first quarter moon just rose.
No
So that
flip.
means when the sun sets,
No
the first
flip.
quarter moon's on the
You're
meridian.
telling me I'm not flipping.
And then
I'm not
the
supposed
first
to
quarter
fucking
moon
flip.
sets around midnight.
Because that's how I was taught on the
So now we're
USS
getting into
fucking
the
Arkansas.
waxing gibbous phases.
That shit shouldn't flip like that unless I was going north and south on the planet. That must mean our axis shifted. That must mean our fucking axis shifted, and that's the only goddamn way you can make that fucking shadow flip like it is. Your orientation changed, dumb fuck. Even NASA and fucking Popular Mechanics is telling us, yeah, the globe's on fucking fire and shouldn't be. That the Earth's axis shifted. Therefore, everything on the ecliptic is going to roll now, including Orion, rising flat on his back, the points of his belt pointing straight up instead of towards the north, which they should be at rise and set. The motherfucker's doing the same cartwheel as the moon in the summer, and he shouldn't be.
Moon is cartwheeling. And it's not just the moon.
It's not.
It's the sun. It's our planets. It's our equatorial constellation.
Like Orion.
I'm talking about
Yes.
circumpolar.
See, John noticed too, and he's got footage of it all, including the sunspots, and he circles them to make it easier for you. They are doing cartwheels. Where you at, John? They are doing cartwheels too. These are all time stamped.
Moon rose and set in the exact same orientation.
It used to.
For my, I'm 43, and for the first 33 years of my life, the moon rose and set in the exact same orientation every day. It never cartwheeled until now, since 2010. Okay, so there's the sun. I showed you the moon. Let's just go with Jupiter.
And its moons.
Let's just shrink it
Doing the
down a
same
little bit
thing.
so I can
Time
get the other one in
stamped.
here.
Cartwheels.
Yeah, your explanations.
Cartwheels.
July 26th. These are July 23rd. So,
Cartwheels. Motherfucking cartwheels. Everything
I don't
on
really
the
don't think
ecliptic.
the moons are going around Jupiter.
Probably
It's
not.
us.
It's us.
Our perception has changed.
Yeah, Earth's axis shifted. Now this motherfucker is convinced he'll draw you pictures. He won't show you. He'll even say it looks like it's rotating 180 degrees. Well, it does because our orientation shifted. But he's sitting here telling you the axis hasn't shifted. It has not shifted. Well, it's a math problem. See, at this point in time, we used to tilt 23 degrees to the ecliptic, and the moon, as you saw, tilted a little bit, about 20 degrees. If we shift 66 degrees and face the ecliptic up and down on the planet, this is going to roll 180 degrees like it is every night. It's math, very simple math. It's 90 degrees opposing the ecliptic, 180-degree roll. 2 degrees for every goddamn angle that you're off. Boom, boom, boom. Math doesn't lie. But people that took 180 damn videos off of this playlist, it used to be 180 big. There's 62 still missing. He has added others to this since he took them down. Anybody on my channel watched him do it. A lot of you came to me and asked, why did he do that? And I went and looked, and I was like, oh my God, D5 Unser, fucking Derek Bros, all these fucking known government fucking agents approached this man And he changed his entire fucking format. Now, why am I concerned about this? Because there are 7,000 people, granted his sub doesn't climb, I've seen it fall over the last few months, which it should fall to zero. Anybody blindly following somebody just because they're spewing the word of fucking Christ doesn't mean they actually got anything from the fucking Christ. The man is a liar, and everything on his page for the last 2 years is geared to show you the moon is normal. In the face of the fact that it isn't, he claims oxygen is not produced by plants. When the CO2 goes in them, the plant scrubs the shit and sends the fucking oxygen out in plant parts. I typed in here plant farts and it says if you define fart as the dictionary does and expel intestinal gas from a fucking anus, plants don't fart. However, they do expel gas, uh, including methane, um, and such found in humans and animals. So they basically fart in their own plant like way. So when I say you need plant farts and plants need your farts, I'm not wrong.
And I'm thinking about the cold chain in particular, so produce. The center of the store also, we do import a lot of products from the U.S. For groceries, nuts, spices, things like that. So I'm expecting some empty shelves. In fact, probably your listeners have actually noticed that there are empty shelves at the grocery store. This vaccine mandate is just not going to help.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what one's philosophy is, this is couldn't come at a worse time, effectively. So you mentioned some of the products, but how much of a price? We already seen these prices go up dramatically over the past year in some cases. I mean, how much higher could they get?
So we about a month ago, you and I spoke about this. We were expecting in 2022 to see prices rise by anywhere between 5 to 7%. So obviously, this is just not going to help. It's you're going to.
Um, this guy's trying to tell you everything's fine. He's even got a little farmer out there that has a decent little crop. He said it hasn't harvested anything, but we'll see how that goes. Seems like things aren't going as well as that guy wants you to think.
Obviously, this is just not going to help. It's you're going to see less food in the Canadian market, and when you see supplies being impacted, likely prices will rise. As you just mentioned, Anthony, I mean, this is not happening at the right time. I think it's important to protect Canadians from the virus, but this could actually compromise Canada's food security.
Now, here's the thing. I told you they are going to take control of the supply chains so they can make it look like they are causing the food shortages a long time ago over here and over here on my channel on YouTube. For a long time, I've been telling you, you need to get your food together. You need to get your food together. Well, I wasn't guessing, and I wasn't coerced to murder you with lies about Christ. You want to wave your book at me? Tell me to leave the guy alone? I'm going to tell you right now. When you tell the truth, justice is done, but lies do no justice. They lead to injustice. A lie has a short life, but the truth will shine forever. And staying silent in the presence of a lie is a motherfucking lie, and I won't be caught dead doing that.